Welcome to the Rachel Varga podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Varga, double board certified aesthetic nurse specialist since 2011 with over 20,000 rejuvenation procedures performed. I'm an international clinical trainer for other physicians and nurses as well, celebrity skin expert, having been featured on some of the world's top proactive aging podcasts, and much, much more. Learn more at rachelvarga.ca and enjoy today's episode. Welcome, everyone, to today's episode on the Rachel Varga podcast. It's an absolute pleasure to have you joining me here today. This is going to be a little bit of a really beautiful spirituality, beauty type of episode. And in today's episode, Karin and I are going to teach how we can be our brightest versions on the inside and out, and especially navigating times such as becoming a new mother during pregnancy, soon to be mothers, new mothers, and just kind of like men and women in general. But this is really directed towards the conversation of how we can really begin to tune into ourselves and how we can support ourselves and, a new life that might be growing inside of us, and also those around us, to have just a beautiful trickle out effect. So let me tell you a little bit about today's guest. So we have Karin Welter joining us today. And after living in big cities in London, Paris, and New York as an artist, she moved back to Switzerland. And in 2016, with her May twin flame, after a huge awakening call, she started to lead onto a new path in her life. So she is here to awaken the sacred seed in women so that they can remember who they truly are, to find wisdom and power inside of them that is sleeping. And also because her story, we have buried this connection with really being able to be in tune with our body, mind, spirit, and energy. So we're going to help to teach you some ways to cultivate this in today's show. So she mainly leads through inspiration, showing how she lives her life, the choices she makes, and how she truly embodies the sacred feminine. Karin absolutely embodies the sacred feminine, especially she's due in just next week or a couple of weeks, and she is just glowing. She's about to pop, and her energy and her vibe is super high. I would definitely consider her a little bit of a very powerful superwoman right now. And we're going to be talking about some of the different aspects of being a woman, like when we're pregnant, birth, the sacred sexuality of relationship, educating your children, and so on. We're going to get into a couple of things here. We're also going to share some different supportive things that, I'll be employing when that time comes for me, and also what Karin is employing in her life to help her sleep and help her to maintain a healthy inner gut health and all of that stuff, because that stuff is really important when you're creating life, to continue to make sure that your temple is sound and pure and all of that. So welcome, Karin. It is great to have you here on the show. How are you today?
Hello, Rachel. Thank you. I'm very good. Thank you. I'm very soft today. That's why I'm also dressed in rose and silk, and I feel very soft today. Yeah.
Well, yeah, every time I tune into you, like on your Instagram, I love following you on your Instagram. You're always just like this embodied feminine softness and all of that. And I'm feeling a little kind of like rock and roll today with my Gibson Les Paul behind me. I'm wearing black. I actually wear a lot of black. I don't know, with some protective elements with that. But yes, sometimes I will also choose to wear colors depending on how I'm feeling. And Karin, I would just love for you to maybe let's just kick things off with talking about the goddess mindset. What is that? How can we live like a goddess embodied? And what is the vibration around this?
Yeah. I guess, especially during your pregnancy, there are so much programming out there in the world, and how pregnant women have to look like, firstly, how pregnant women have to behave, and how they are also treated from the system. So in our society, pregnant women are not treated the right way. Let's make it straight. It's like this. Because there is back back very far back, a pregnant woman was really the symbol of Mother Earth itself, of the great creatress, and she was honored in the society, what today absolutely does not exist anymore. And for me, it was really when I got pregnant, because I would describe myself as awakened conscious woman, still on the way, because it's a journey that's never ending, right? But for me, it was really clear that I want to go completely a different way. I want to feel like a goddess. I wanted to feel my most beautiful self, because you program also your child with that. Everything that you think, that you feel, you program your child in your belly already. What we also do not really know in the Western world, let's say that. So for me, the goddess, um, to have this goddess frequency every day is sometimes not easy. Yes, you have to work for it on some days. But when you are deciding to go a conscious way, it always goes hand in hand, the work. And yeah, it's not just like this here, right? So for me, it's what I my morning routine is, for example, I bath every day, mostly in the morning, because it heightens my frequency, no matter how I feel. And you just, yeah, you feel safe in the water, in the warm water, and it relaxes your body, because especially to the end of the pregnancy, you really, yeah, there are some, the body makes a lot of work. And so you feel really much more beautiful, and you make with rose scents or whatever scents, smells that you love. And then when you I get out and I ask this goddess, what would you like to dress today? How do you dress that I feel like a goddess? How would I do my makeup today? How does this goddess smell today? And all this little ritual moves me into a place that I feel beautiful, no matter how I woke up maybe in the beginning. And yeah, it is a frequency. And I guess also this frequency is very healing. It just came like to me like that it's a very healing energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love your morning routine as well. I am a bath person. I enjoy being in the warm water both morning and evening. I'll put Epsom salts in my bath. I'll put baking soda in my bath, some of my pineapple body oil. Yes, some local wild rose oil as well. And I think you're right. I'll have my red light therapy on going too, and maybe some nice music while I'm doing my makeup. And I find that that just really helps to ground me in the morning and also in the evening. And magnesium certainly has many benefits for keeping your muscles relaxed. It also has been shown to improve our nervous system functioning as well. So, everything that we can do to stay calm, especially right now with kind of the state of the world. And it's really interesting how I've noticed this in myself. And I'm actually doing all of this work for pain, but also a year preconception. So I am getting myself, I even told my husband today, I was like, my heart rate has been lowered while I sleep, and my heart rate variability has increased. Both those two changes in my metrics. Just got to like there. We got a fellow biohacker in the house. That's awesome. Those are all really good indicators that your body is managing stress well. And if you're trying to get pregnant as well, and say you're newly discovered that you're pregnant, we have to learn how to maintain a really positive vibration and energy and find ways to manage our stress. So I 100% love that you mentioned the fact that you like to take that warm bath. It's very healing, it's very soothing to our body, and it's taking that time for yourself. And then you do your skincare, you're all set up. We already connected with on that, and your makeup and doing your hair nice. Like you look in the mirror and you're like, yeah, there's goddess right there. That's it's not an accident, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. And this calmness, this it's exactly this. Because during pregnancy, or as you say, if you try to get pregnant, a lot of women ask me, because I just turned 40, and they ask me, "Ooh, how did you get so fast pregnant?" Yeah, but it's really, it has to do with your relaxed body and mind, because we live in a constant too high stress level, right? In the society we have been put in since we are children, we are put there, and we don't realize it anymore. And as you say, to find this calmness inside of you again, and especially then during pregnancy as well, it's because the hormones are really like woo. But when, from my perspective, if you find your perfect balance with supplements, with food, with self-care, with other care from your partner, uh, your hormones will never flip out like this, like you see it in movies. It's so, I from my perspective, it's kind of a lie how they show how pregnant women are behaving. But because we are seeing this, it's the same with birth, that we are expecting birth to be painful, right? Because we're seeing it, we get programmed with it, and the power of our mind, your body will do what we believe. So to find, for me, it was, I was already before my pregnancy stepping into my self empowerment, really connecting to your deep inner wisdom. And during pregnancy, wow, this is really, pregnancy is such a rite of passage. It's not just the birth that is the rite of passage, it's already your pregnancy, that you prepare to be able then to stand in your full empowerment when the time has come for you to have this. It should be your most beautiful experience, or one of the most beautiful experience in your lifetime, right? And not one most fearful experience that you are expecting. So this calmness, this centeredness inside yourself is absolutely the key. And the closer I move now to my birth, the more emotions are coming up, the more you really feel inside, wow, something is going on. And you feel also, you go to the end, you feel you go to this the end of this passage of right. And there are a lot of excitement, there are maybe still some little fears, there are also there's so much love, there are really so much things that happen to you in one moment. And
Absolutely. I just sent you a quick note there, and I want to ask you about your sleep, because sleep is
yeah.
really critical for
Mm.
being able to kind of like set the stage for closing the day and then starting the new day and regeneration and all of that. So, what are some of the things that you do to maintain a positive sleep environment? How to set yourself up for sleep for you and your baby inside? So, how has your sleep been lately? And what do you do to optimize it?
Yeah, I mean, you read a lot about insomnia when you are pregnant, and I experienced it like from time to time. But I didn't want it really to let myself get influenced by any outside, like it's normal to have insomnia during pregnancy, right? So usually I just do like, maybe not for me, not maybe. So I had almost no, I slept very well. I Our sleeping room is a holy place for me. I love our sleeping room. I took care that really there is no electricity. We have salt crystals. Really, I have everything set up that it is the most beautiful environment energetically that I was able to create. And also a perfect mattress, most important, especially when your body is so much changing and you get so much more weight or not, but your body changes, and the mattress is so important, and that just everything feels, for me, it's the most comfortable place in the whole house. And then when I had problems to sleep, I usually got up. Firstly, I just stayed calm. I guess it's again, you go in your calmness, in your centeredness, and you just accept it. I think to accept those things is something that is such something important to prepare you for your birth, because during birth you also have to accept whatever sensations that will come to you. So I guess during pregnancy, to accept already every thing that happens in your body, every unpleasant things that you have to handle, is always to accept it and so, to center again. And then what I loved, I have from a Ayurvedic doctor, and she was writing like about this drink. You either take sheep milk or cow milk, but the sheep milk is actually better. And then you take lavender tea and chameleon tea, and with honey. So that was my sleeping elixir. So I usually got up and I did it in the kitchen, very easy and relaxed. And I did a lot of time also some breath work to calm down and just stay relaxed. And then and I sung and singing is also something very beautiful you can do. And then it calmed me down, and then usually I went back to bed and I slept.
That's lovely. And absolutely, a really wonderful mattress is key. Make sure that it's organic, if at all
Mhm.
possible, so that you're not inhaling off gases, because a lot of mattresses are actually treated with flame retardants. I love that you
Mhm.
mentioned no electricity in your room. I do have a special mattress that actually tracks my heart rate and my HRV and maintains temperature control. So I do have some
Mhm.
electricity with that, and also
Mhm.
with my air purifiers. And so, sometimes I'll like sprinkle a little salt. Yeah, I got a Himalayan rock salt lamp in my bedroom as
Mhm.
well. I love that. Having
Mhm.
nice symbols that support you, that are in alignment with your body, mind, spirit, energy, spiritual practice you have as well. Our sleep is
Mhm.
very sacred. And one of the things, yes, I know we have to be careful about talking about, which supplements we're going to be taking when we're pregnant and breastfeeding. Obviously, this isn't medical advice. This is educational information only. If you think you have a medical condition, you must seek the guidance of a licensed physician and before making any lifestyle modifications. So when you are thinking about being pregnant, you are pregnant, breastfeeding, always check in with your physician to just have a look over any supplements that you're taking. I will be sharing, however, when I'm pregnant, I'm still going to be maintaining my use of magnesium through magnesium Epsom salt baths, and also taking I really am getting some pretty incredible results from the magnesium breakthrough from biooptimizers. And you can actually use magbreakthrough.com/Varga and use code Varga10 to save 10% when you try the Mag Breakthrough. And literally within the first night of using it, I had better sleep. And the other thing I wanted to mention here, because I am very fastidious about gut health and supporting that. And this is also a company, they're not white label, they're third party independent lab tested. They also make some really great gut health supportive products as well. So, probiotics, digestive enzymes, and all of that. Because when we're making a little one, we have to make sure that our hormones are stable. So, not only getting good sleep, finding ways to navigate keeping a low stress lifestyle, like taking the baths in the morning and in the evening to set the tone. But we need to make sure that we're eating the right foods, and but also really being intuitive with this. So I think that this is a perfect segue, Karin, for us to kind of dive into how you're really tapping into your intuition, because I understand that you're kind of working through and past breaking through some of these programs that we have been kind of led to believe about pregnancy. You're going to feel fat, you're going to feel tired, you're not going to sleep, it's going to be super painful. Why are all of these expectations kind of shoved on us? And I'm just like you. I really firmly believe that we can take a power back and have a pregnancy that we dream of. So I'm curious how you feel into what your body needs during this time, including your food choices, supplements, and also interventions.
That's a big theme. Yeah, I guess. Oh, yeah, this is a big thing. We could speak hours about it. But Rachel, let me just quickly add to the sleeping thing. I have something forgotten, very important. When you are pregnant, sleep when your body is asking for. Really, forget your sleep schedule. Sleep when your body is asking for it. I guess this is one of the biggest secrets for a pregnant woman. Also, that you stay beautiful and that you stay balanced. Sleep whenever your body is asking for. So to the other theme is really like I always suggest to the women to study her story. It's her story, the story how we women have come where we are in this time and in this moment. And I think it's very important that we women know about it, what everything happened, because it answers a lot of questions that you just asked now, why we are at this point that we are. And one of the biggest problem that I see is that pregnancy and birth was medicalized, throughout medicalized and controlled by the system, because we cannot forget that birth is a multi-billion-dollar business. And if all we women would
You
start
said
to
it.
spend
I didn't have to. Thank
it is.
you.
And C-sections anyway is one we have so high rates. Even the WHO, I don't know, in the WHO, they say it's too high. It's really it's a big money machine. So, and then we are we are really pregnant with all these movies and these stories, how we are dependent on the system, on the medical system. Without a doctor we are not able to bring these beautiful souls into this world. But is one of the biggest lies. And if
I would love to just
everyone,
interject here for a moment,
yeah,
because this is something that I am personally kind of dipping my toes in the water. I really want to have a home birth. Heck, I want to have it outside.
yeah,
I want to have
yeah,
it like touching the ground, have a little fire next to me. Seriously, like,
yes,
and
yes,
people look at me sideways wanting to have a home birth,
yeah.
like, "Oh, you should really go to the hospital. It'll be a lot safer." I'm a double board certified registered nurse. And, you can have your midwives, your support systems, when they have issues, they're gonna ring up paramedics, so you can get support that way still. And if there are complications, yes, of course, you can go through the, medical intervention route, no problem. But we've been delivering babies for thousands of years. So it's so
Exactly.
funny when I mentioned what my wishes are. I want a calm environment. I want low lights. I don't want to hear a PA in the hospital. Trust me, I had enough of that when I was working in oncology and palliative care and all of
Mhm.
that. I want to have a more serene type of environment. Not I want, like, this is what I'm gonna manifest. Like, just
Yeah.
watch, just watch. And I think that I was actually doing some research for this interview, because I was looking at some of the different statistics and some of the different processes that we have in North America compared to the UK. And I know that you came from London, and there are the whole concept of being told to push. I mean, women get epidurals, they're not able to feel what's happening there. And so they're pushing when they're told to push. And they're missing out on all of these different feelings that they can experience and tuning into the body to know when to push. So it's just really interesting how sometimes interventions can take away of the sacredness of holding space, of bringing life into the world. And of course, this is a concept that is a little bit foreign to me, but in my heart, I know that I want to create a more calm, serene space with, as many natural elements around me as possible. I don't like LED fluorescent lighting anyways. So how is that going to be conducive to being in a calm, restful, peaceful mindset with the right hormones coming through, not just like this dump of adrenaline and all of that that's going to be when you have bright lights and lots of strangers around you and the sounds of like metal and stuff like that. It was very interesting, that article that I was written. I'll try and find it and link it to the show here. But how in the UK it is looked at very differently, the concept of pain actually being related to bright lights and strangers in the room. So when you're talking about how birthing and just life in general, you really have to feel into what feels right for you, and obviously make decisions that are in alignment with your body, mind, spirit, energy. Always check in with your doctor. I mean, yes, sometimes people will have a high risk birth and certain things could be then implemented, but I'd love your commentary on that, because I'm just kind of like dipping my toes in the water. I'm sprinkling the seeds that I do want to have a home birth. And those closest to me are actually giving me a lot of resistance. And I wonder if that's from programming, perhaps, but yet this is the way we've done it for thousands of years.
I mean, how we are giving birth at the moment, it's just since a few hundred years, maybe. I don't know when it will start to be so medicalized, but actually, um, you feel it exactly the right way, because you are an awakened woman, and when you are awakened, you start to feel there is something wrong. It was exactly for me. I was able to be there at two births from friends of mine, and in the hospital, medicalized and with interventions, and I just felt inside something is very wrong here. I just felt it. And then a little bit shorter after this birth experiences, I saw a documentary about an African tribe where women experience no pain during birth, where women give even birth
I just had
during
shivers
their
all down
sleeping.
my left side, which is our feminine
Really?
side.
Yeah, okay. And these women, they do not know this pain and this fear around birth, because birth is one of the most natural experience that a woman can have. We are made for birth, and my deep belief is that birth is, in its sense, how it was intended from nature, is painless, and it should be one of the most transcendent, most spiritual moment in your life, which will let you grow in your power as a mother. If it's not intervened, if birth is left alone how it is intended to be, really.
It's funny that
So
you said something there. It's power. I got a bit of a
mhm.
badass edge to me. Like, trust me, I'm all good girl, but there's things that I like to do that are a little bit like edgy and stuff like that. Um, and there's some part of me that just really wants to have a birth and be in control, right? You're completely in control, your body, mind, spirit, energy, your sovereignty, and all of that. And I feel like that for me would be like the ultimate badassery, is to be able to do a home birth with little to no interventions, and then be able to look back on that and be like, yeah, I did that. I made you, right? One of my girlfriends, she's had two home births, and they were actually really
Mhm.
easy. And she had her
Mhm.
midwife there, and all of that, all good. And she was
Mhm.
explaining to me how she really, it's really powerful feeling the baby actually moving through you and being in tune with that. So I just find this whole conversation so fascinating. And obviously, you are
Yeah.
the best person that I could think of to be able to bring really like that spirituality and that mindset of being a goddess, spirituality, beauty, sovereignty, and all of that. But how are you making your food decisions right now? Because we know that our foods aren't really as nutrient dense as they once were. So how are you personally navigating feeding yourself and your little one, and certain supplements that you're taking to stay calm and stay balanced and centered, grounded, and aligned?
um, okay, I was so into the other film still because I could go on in this film for like hours and hours. But yeah, supplements and food. I guess that's we women have kind of lost this deep connection into our own wisdom, because we are everything is programmed inside of us. Also about a birth, you wouldn't even know any need to know anything or study about it, because it's programmed literally in our DNA. And I guess for me it's the same for food and supplements, that when you are learning to reconnect to this source inside of you, to trust yourself, because we are also programmed to concentrate on the outside world and to listen to this expert and listen to that expert. It's not that we don't need experts, it's nice, but to really feel, is this in alignment with myself? Because your body tells you always what you need. And during pregnancy, you actually this inner wisdom starts from naturally to grow stronger, even if you don't have it discovered before. This is something that I heard from a lot of other women, that they start to have this connection that start to grow inside of them. I developed this already before my pregnancy, so it was very clear for me that I go for a wild pregnancy and a free birth, because I wanted to, yeah, completely depend on myself, to trust in myself. I am a healthy woman, but in the system, I would have been high risk, because I'm already 40 years old, and this is not in alignment with myself. So I would have got treated high risk in this medical system. So I knew, if I want to be self-empowered, I have to step out from the system. So with food, I just did a lot of reading, a lot of reading. I am in communities all over the world about free birth, about wild pregnancy. There are amazing free birth communities, and you learn from other women. And then you trust yourself, and you listen to yourself. What do you need? And I made a combination with I love Ayurvedic medicine, so I did a lot of herbal stuff from Ayurvedic. And I went also with supplements, with natural supplements, and just had a look that I eat very healthy and balanced. And but also then sometimes when I had a craving for a cake, I ate the cake. It's like you really I really just listened to my body, but for sure no fast food or like processed food, this bullshit. When I had the craving for sweets, I was looking that I eat healthy sweet. I mean, I baked the cake myself, for example, and I knew what it's inside.
I love that. We just had a comment come through from a gentleman, no less, tuning into this episode, which we've actually had two gents pop in here, which is pretty cool in the comment section. So Matthew here says, if anyone would know how to be a real life goddess, it's you, Rachel. Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you for all that you and Gabe do for us. So Matthew has been a long time listener of my dear husband, Gabriel Varga, his YouTube channel. So in case some of you guys don't know, my husband's a pro fighter. He's a 6-time pro world champion kickboxer. So I wonder where I get this little edge to myself to kind of like want to do this as a woman and be like, damn right, I'm strong. I can handle this, right? And so it's funny that Matthew popped in here because I was trying to like identify in myself why I feel so strongly about this, to have this almost be like a rite of passage and look back and be like, I did that. And I think it's, there's an element to myself of that kind of like warrior goddess. I mean, look, I married a professional fighter for crying out loud. So I think that that actually helped me understand a little bit about myself. And not everybody's into this. Like, not everybody's into the whole home birth thing. They want to have all the different types of support. So that's okay. No judgments here. But I think it's really important that we do listen to ourselves and start to be less reliant on all of those other people around us that are trying to say, do this, do this, this. And yes, birthing is a huge industry, right? Look at all the toys and the gadgets and all of these things that you can buy to support you, when really a lot of the wisdom that we need is actually within us, because it's a very, very natural process. And do you have anything
Yeah,
else to add?
yeah. One very important thing why we experience, I mean, there's a lot of fear around giving birth in women, and it has also to do with your own birth trauma. And it's a very good place to go, everyone who is pregnant, to go to your own birth trauma, because everyone carries one if you're not born in a really free way, let's say. The in the medical system, you experience pain during birth because of the medical system, because of the interventions. Our bodies are actually designed, it is a perfect orchestra of your hormones and your baby, the whole birth process. What we have to learn as awakened or conscious women is to step aside with our thinking brain, with our neocortex, and let the body do what it is designed actually to do in harmony with the baby. And when we go over into the system, this perfect orchestra gets interrupted, so your body cannot work efficiently anymore to bring to bring this beautiful soul into this world. It is, and this is a secret, well kept secret, that we don't know that that really your body actually would produce so much oxytocin that this takes the pain away, that you are able to experience a painless birth, my opinion. But yeah, I just, it's just important for me to know, women, that birth is not intended how it is sold to us, really not. Birth is really intended to be, and also your pregnancy already is intended to be something very, very, very empowering for a woman, and not disempowering, because a lot of women walking out of their birth with a big trauma, which they have to work afterwards up again. Mm.
Yeah, I'm really happy you brought that up, because this is kind of how we can sort of tie this all back around of, how to really be a real life goddess. And it's funny that we've had so many men actually tune into this episode. men commented and instead of women. So I
Yeah.
wonder if there's an aspect of men out there that are like, what is this home birth thing? Why are some people doing this home birth thing? And I was watching this show. It's called Good Girls. It's on Netflix. Sometimes I'll watch it
Mhm.
with my girlfriend. It's about these three, housewives that turn criminals. And one of the characters, she's doing a home birth. And one of the comments was, oh, a home birth is for white rich ladies. Where did that programming come from? Because last time I checked, home births have been done for the last couple thousand years across the globe. So that was
Mhm.
a very interesting comment. So we have to be very observant of a lot of these programs that are literally put in front of us through programs. So, understanding our own birth process and potential traumas, like past traumas, is something that would be, I
Mhm.
would consider in the realm of shadow work. And this is
Mhm.
actually a very like deep psychological path of self-discovery. I've personally done quite a bit of shadow work myself. And when you understand your
Mhm.
traumas, it really helps to help you understand more about yourself and your values and how you move through this world. And how we can move through different decisions in our lives, whether it's through birth or learning how to change during these highly evolutionary process. We're in a very huge choice point in humanity right now. It's all the stuff going on. Next is going to be transhumanism, mark my words. But the more we can tune into our body, mind, spirit, and energy and embody the goddess. So this is like a very feminine quality of being able to go within and listen to yourselves.
Mhm.
This is something that, we can all employ. And do you have any closing remarks on really how to maintain that kind of like goddess demeanor and really kind of mixing the spirituality, beauty, staying grounded, centered, balanced, and aligned?
I I would say the power is really inside of you. It always has been, and it is there. It just needs to be awakened again. And because what do I want to say? It's like um, I lost the thread. Ask me
You know what?
again.
I'm sure it'll come to you. But this is something that I think we really need to, like, as a human collective, start to really think about how we can truly maintain that kind of like goddess vibrancy. And to me, it actually will be achieved through this is the whole working with radiance. This is like a pretty deep topic. Beauty isn't skin deep, radiance isn't skin deep. Radiance is a vibration.
Yeah.
So one of the containers you love to work with, Karin, is spirituality and beauty together. And we can kind of lean into those aspects of ourselves once we understand them to help us move through challenging times and become more resilient. So, we've covered a couple of things in today's show, which I think are really beautiful. We talked about stress management, we talked about keeping our hormones in check. We talked about sleep. We talked about certain supplements and certain supplements I'm going to be taking, right? Like magnesium and ways to support gut, because sleep's really important and your hormone regulation is really important and your stress management. And I really I find it interesting when women are maybe at that time where they're wanting to conceive and they're having a hard time. The first thing that they want to start to do, that if you're in this phase, you got to get your gut sorted out and you got to get your sleep and lifestyle sorted out before doing things like IVF and all of that. You have to do your basics. You have to employ body, mind, spirit, energy practices to create a container of yourself in order to create a beautiful, happy life, right? For yourself, but also what you could potentially be birthing. So this isn't just for like women who are pregnant. This is really for anyone who's just wanting to navigate this life with a little bit more grace, with a little bit more ease, and quite a bit more beauty along the way. And this life doesn't have to be painful or tumultuous or traumatic, but yes, those things will arise, but look for the lessons in them and do the shadow work. Why are you feeling triggered by this, that, and the other thing? Acknowledge it, move through it, feel it, integrate it. It will make you a stronger and more powerful individual, which really is, in my opinion, what is going to constitute a true goddess. When you understand these different aspects of yourself and can go within and internally know and feel what is going to be helpful for you so that you can be your most sovereign, beautiful, and radiant individual. Karin, it was just
Yeah,
an absolute,
absolutely.
yeah, it was an
Um,
absolute pleasure. Did anything come up for you when I shared that?
Thank you. Yeah, the divine feminine. It's really about to awaken the divine feminine in women again. And pregnancy and birth is it's a huge part of it, where we have lost this deep connection, and the world is changing. The world moved into the feminine energies again. And that's why it's such a big awakening time at the moment, right? And for it's really time for us women, when I come back to pregnancy and birth, that we reclaim birth for us again. It's really, for me, it is a reclaiming of the divine feminine. And because I know when we start to heal birth, we will start to heal the world, because it's so much linked to birth. It goes so much deeper. Birth is not just a physical event, it's so much more. And when we can bring back this consciousness to us women and reclaim birth and make it the way how it was intended to be, there will be a huge change in the new generations, no question.
Yeah, and you never know, maybe healthier offspring as a byproduct of that too.
Mm.
And less trauma to, future offspring as well. I mean, that's what I'm really hoping for
Yeah,
as well.
and pregnancy is, yeah, pregnancy is actually, you it's the most deepest shadow work you will do during your pregnancy. Because I
Yeah, I
also did
feel
a
it.
lot of shadow work beforehand,
Yeah.
but when I got pregnant, wow, there are really new things that are coming up. Because actually, when you get pregnant and you welcome this new soul in your body, opens up so much more channels. You become so much more aware, and so it's a wild ride.
Yeah, and I think the wild side of me
If
is
you
ready
choose to
for
do it
that. Yeah.
consciously.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So I'm really curious, with all of you tuning in here, how you're feeling about this episode. Is a little bit more a little bit more risque type of episode, talking about home births, because it is super polarizing. Like, even just talking with my family members about it, like, oh yeah, this is my wishes, this is how I want to go about this. They're like, no, you got to do it on the hospital. Do I really? Do I really? I'm super healthy, all that stuff. So just got to decide for yourself. Don't let anybody or any institution tell you to do something that isn't in alignment with what feels right for you. But yes, of course, medical disclaimer, always check in with your physician before making lifestyle modifications. It was just absolutely a pleasure having you here on the show, Karin. We'll definitely have you back on. Wishing you all the best, lots of love, and lots of power and
Thank you.
energy and fortitude and strength, because you're literally about to pop any day. Like, what's your timeline?
Yes, yes. Yes, it's could be a week, could be 2 week, could be 3 weeks, but for sure in a range of a month now. Yeah.
Yeah, well, everybody needs
So when you do
to.
home birth, that's another thing. You don't know anything, and that's also a beautiful mystery.
Absolutely. I've really enjoyed following you on social media and seeing like how you're moving and caring for yourself, and like you really are embodying the like feminine and the goddess kind of vibe, like with your beautiful curly blonde hair, wearing your silk and all of that. So your little one
Thank,
is very lucky to have you as a mother.
thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in here on the show. Be sure to follow Karin on social media. What's your Instagram handle?
Yeah, it's Karin, Karin, underline Welter, underline. Karin,
Perfect.
underline Welter, underline.
Excellent. Yeah, you have some really inspirational stuff in your stories. So it's been really inspiring me and bringing out more of those feminine qualities in me as well. Because, yes, we have lost that. And some of us are moving more into that, which is great to achieve more balance because it's all about balance in this life. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the Rachel Varga YouTube channel here. Don't forget to hit the bell so that you know when new episodes are released. Share this episode with a friend or family member. Reach out to me on social media, DM me at Rachel Varga Official. Let me know what questions or comments you have about today's episode. Maybe I'll be doing some more stuff, but y'all know I'm going to be taking y'all along for the journey of what this is going to be like for me. And I think it's going to be a bit of a wild ride and I'm kind of excited about it. But I also think it's just going to be this like next rite of passage. And anyone who's had a child, I'm sure already knows that. So it'll be interesting to hear different things that are coming up for all of you tuning into the show here and this community. Have a lovely rest of your day, everybody. Bye, Karin.
Bye, Rachel. Thank you.